Hey guys, what's going on here? Counterspell Hater, back with another EDH guide. This one will be over Wilhelt, the Rock Cleaver, 2 generic, blue and a black for legendary creature zombie warrior through 3. Whenever another zombie control dies, if it didn't have decayed, which is the creature cannot block, and whenever it attacks, you sacrifice it at the end of combat. But if it didn't have Decayed, create a 2/2 Black Zombie creature token with Decayed. And at the beginning of your end step, you may sacrifice a zombie. If you do, draw a card. So we have obviously zombie cards, so like cards that can put zombies onto the battlefield. And then we have cards that synergize with like our commander in general, like what it's doing. So to start off, we have Necro Duality. For 3 generic and a blue, it's an enchantment that says whenever a non-token zombie enters the battlefield under your control, create a token that's a copy of that creature. So giving us double zombies. And Champion of the Perished. It's different from Champion of the Parish, because for black, it's a creature of zombies on one, stating that whenever another zombie enters the battlefield under your control, put a +++ counter on Champion of the Perished. Gravecrawler. It's a black for a creature zombie 2/1. It cannot block, but you can cast it from your graveyard as long as you control a zombie. Unbreathing Horde. 2 generic and black for a creature zombie, excuse me. 0/0. But it enters the battlefield with a ++ counter on it. Each other zombie you control and each zombie card in your graveyard. And if it would be dealt damage, you prevent that damage and remove a +1/+1 counter from it. So having more zombies obviously empowers this thing. Grin Corpseborn, 3 generic, blue and a black for legendary creature zombie warrior 5/5. When Grin Corpseborn enters battlefield, it enters battlefield tapped and does not attack during your untap step. Sacrifice another creature, untap Grin, and put +1/+1 counter on it. And whenever he attacks, destroy target creature defending player controls, then put a +1/+1 counter on Grin. And this is also a part of an infinite combo I showed off. So go watch that video if you're interested. Next, we have the Scarab God. 3 generic, blue and a black, legendary creature god, 5/5. At the beginning of your upkeep, each opponent loses X life, and you scry X, where X is the number of zombies you control. And then for 2 generic, a blue and a black, you can exile a target creature card from the graveyard and create a token that's a copy of it, except it's a 4/4 black zombie. And when the Scarab God dies, return it to its owner's hand at the beginning of the next end step. So pretty cool. Ghoul Color Gisa. 3 generic, double black, legendary creature, human wizard, 3/4, black, tap, sacrifice another creature, put X 2/2 black zombie creature tokens onto the battlefield, where X is a sacrifice creature's power. So you can sacrifice something like a big Grin or Unbreathing Horde or Champion of the Parish, things like that. Micaeus the Unhallowed, 3 generic and triple black for a legendary creature zombie cleric 5/5. Intimidate. Whenever a human deals damage to you, destroy it. And Intimidate says this creature can't be blocked except by creatures that share a color with it and or artifact creatures. And Micaeus the Unhallowed also says other non-human creatures you control get +1/+1 and have Undying, meaning that whenever a creature with Undying dies, if it had no ++1 counters on it, return to the battlefield under its owner's control with a +1/+1 counter on it. So giving your zombies a second chance, pretty nice, and giving them +1/+1 because they're most likely all of your creatures are going to be non-human and instead zombies. Sutured Ghoul, 4 generic, triple blank for a creature or zombie. Trample, and when it enters battlefield, as it enters battlefield, excuse me, exile any number of creature cards from your graveyard, and its power and toughness, is equal to the total power of the cards exiled, and its toughness is equal to their toughness. So it can be pretty big. Diagraph Colossus, 2 generic and blank for a creature zombie giant, and it enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter on it for each zombie card in your graveyard. So fill up your graveyard with zombies. You fill this with counters, and it enters. And whenever you cast a zombie spell, put a 2/2 black zombie creature token onto the battlefield tapped. Lord of the Undead, 1 generic double black creature zombie. Other zombie creatures get +1/+1, and then for 1 generic and black, you can tap it and return target zombie card from your graveyard to your hand. Lord of the Undead is a 2/2. Nice. Diagraph Captain, 1 generic, blue and a black for a creature zombie soldier. Death Touch, 2/2, and other zombie creatures you control get +1/+1. And whenever a zombie you control dies, target one loses 1 life, so drain your opponent as your zombies die. Relentless Dead for double black is a zombie with menace. It's a 2/2 as well. And this could mean that this creature can be blocked except by 2 more creatures. And when it dies, you may pay a singular black mana. If you do, return it to its owner's hand. And also when it dies, you may pay X. And if you do, return another target zombie creature card with converted mana cost X from your graveyard to the battlefield. So reanimate the zombie, bring Relentless Dead back to your hand, do it all over again. Undead War Chief, 2 generic, double blank for a zombie, 1/1. That says zombie spells you cast cost 1 generic less to cast, and zombie creatures you control get +2/+1. So really, this is going to be a 3/2 instead of 1/1. So all in all, pretty nice. Endless Ranks of the Dead, 2 generic, double black for enchantments. At the beginning of your upkeep, put X 2/2 black zombie creature tokens onto the battlefield. Rex is half the number of zombies you control, rounded down. So create even more zombies without decay. Keep in mind, all these creatures not having decay is essential to our plan, because then we can create tokens that do not have decayed and that do have decayed, excuse me. Noxious Ghoul, 3 generic, double black for a zombie, 3/3, and whenever it or another zombie enters battlefield, all non-zombie creatures get -1/-1 until end of turn. So pretty nice. Allows us to kill all non-zombie tribal players at the table and their creatures mostly. Risen Executioner, 2 generic, double black for a zombie warrior, 4/3 that cannot block. However, it gives other zombies we control +1/+1, and it can be cast from your graveyard if you pay 1 generic more to cast it for each other creature card in your graveyard. So zombie lore that keeps coming back. Have this Rider, a new addition from Innistrad Crimson Vow, just like Necro Duality. 2 generic and black for a zombie, 3/1, and whenever it or another non-token zombie control dies, you create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. So create even more zombies as they die. The 2/2 one with the decayed and the regular one. Death Baron, 1 generic, double black for a zombie wizard, 2/2. Skeletons you control and other zombies you control get +1/+1 and have Death Touch. So pretty nice. Gives us a form of evasion in the form of Death Touch, because most of the time no one wants to block Death Touch. And it gives our zombies and skeletons a buff if we had any skeletons. Soulless One, it's 3 generic and a black for a zombie avatar. And its power and toughness are each equal to the number of zombies on the battlefield plus the number of zombie cards in all graveyards. So on the battlefield, count out you and your opponent's zombies, and then count out all zombie cards in all graveyards, and then boom, you have your power on top of this for your soulless one. So pretty nice. Evan Death, Dracolith, 2 generic and double black. Legendary creature, zombie dragon, 5/2, flash flying, enters battlefield tapped, and you may cast it from your graveyard if a creature not named Evan Death, Draco, Lich, I think, died this turn, so it can come back. Gleaming Overseer, 1 generic, 1 black, 1 blue. I said that backwards, but whatever. Creature zombie wizard. Whenever Gleaming Overseer enters battlefield, amass 1, say 1/4. To amass 1, you put a +++ count on an army you control. If you don't control one, first you create a 0/2 black army creature token, and then you put the +1/+1 count on it. Excuse me. And then it also says zombie tokens you control have hexproof and menace, so giving us an even better form of evasion, along with the death touch we may have, thanks to Death Baron, and hexproof, meaning that opponents cannot touch it whatsoever. Havengeful Lich, 3 generic, blue and black for a zombie wizard, 4/4, and then for 1 generic, you may cast target creature card in your graveyard this turn. And when you cast that card this turn, Havengeful Lich gains all activated abilities of that card until the turn. So Scarab God, other zombies with activated abilities. Oh, Grimgrin, and others. Kind of forgot. Oh, Corpse Harvesters, for example, here as well. Let's see, right? See, 3 generic, double black for a zombie wizard, 3/3. 1 generic and a black to tap it and sacrifice your creature. Search your library for a zombie card and a swamp card, reveal them and put them into your hand, then shuffle your library. So this allows you to search for lands you may need and sacrifice creatures, contributing to your commander and its plans, and getting you a zombie to further contribute in the swamp, which is all pretty nice. Graveborn Muse, 2 generic, double black for a zombie spirit, 3/3. At the beginning of your upkeep, you draw cards and you lose X life, or X number of zombies you control. So be careful with this, because this can kill you if you're not careful enough and you have too many zombies. But still, nice way to draw cards if you were to need them. Next is Gisanger Lamp, 2 generic, blue and black for a legendary creature human wizard, 4/4. And when Gisanger Lamp enter the battlefield, you put the top 4 cards of your library into your graveyard, or 4. And then during each of your turns, you may cast a zombie creature card from your graveyard. So pretty nice. Scourge of Neltorth, 5 generic, double black for a zombie dragon, flying 6/6. And you may cast it from your graveyard by paying double black and sacrificing 2 creatures rather than paying its mana cost. So also pretty nice. So let's just sacrifice creatures, get back a big blocker in the air. And it's a zombie, so when it dies, it contributes to our commander over and over again. Just like Owen the Grays here, because for 3 generic and no black, it's an enchantment that says whenever a non-token creature you control dies, you create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. So again, we create a decayed 2/2 black zombie creature token, and then a regular 2/2 black zombie creature token. You see Owen the Grays and Wilhelt's combined efforts. And now we get sort of into what Arcana wants us to be doing. So start off with Zombie Apocalypse. 3 generic, triple black for a sorcery, return all zombie creature cards from your graveyard to the battlefield, then tap, then destroy all humans. Undead Augur, double black, creature zombie wizard, 2/2, and whenever Undead Augur or another zombie you control dies, you draw a card and you lose 1 life. Your left, Visionary Stitcher, 2 generic and blue for legendary creature human wizard. Zombie you control have flying is 1/4. For For blue, you can tap him and sacrifice another non-token creature and create an XX blue zombie creature token, where X is the sacrificed creature's toughness. And then that has flying as well. Rooftop Storm. 5 generic and a blue. It's an enchantment that says you may pay 0 rather than pay the mana cost for zombie creature spells you cast. So it makes your zombie spells free. Reflections of Lutra genre. 4 generic and blue for an enchantment. And when there's an acid excuse me, you choose a creature type, and whenever you cast a spell of the chosen type, copy that spell. A copy of a permanent spell becomes a token. So this allows you to make even more zombies. Gutless Ghoul, 2 generic and a black for a snow creature zombie, do 2, and 1 generic. Sacrifice a creature, you gain 2 life, so allows you to stay in the game. Prized Amaglam, for 1 generic, a blue and a black, it's a zombie through 3, and whenever a creature enters the battlefield, if it entered from your graveyard or you cast it from your graveyard, return prize Amaglam from your graveyard to the battlefield, tap at the beginning of the next end step. So this can come back. Paradise Mantle. 0 is an artifact equipment. A quick creature has tap. Add 1 mana if you want to call it 2 mana. Cost of 1. If you haven't watched my Infinite Combos video yet, go watch it. For those who choose not to, let me explain why I have this in here. So this is actually the part of an infinite mana combo in this deck. So you need Paradise Mantle. Where is it? Oh, Rooftop Storm. Gravecrawler. Grimgrin, and Wilhelt out. So what you do is you attach the Paradise Mantle to Grimgrin, Corpseborn. You tap him for 1 mana of any 1 color. You sacrifice another creature to untap him. So you're going to sacrifice your Gravecrawler. Wilhelt, the Rock Cleaver, is going to create a 2/2 black zombie creature token with Decay. And then thanks to Rooftop Storm, and you controlling a bunch of other zombies, you're going to cast Gravecrawler from your graveyard for free. Then you will tap Grimgrin, sacrifice another creature. So he's getting bigger and bigger because as you sacrifice those creatures on tapping, he's also getting multiple counters. And you're just going to repeat this process over and over again. Tap Grimgrin for mana of any 1 color. Sacrifice Gravecrawler to untap him. Wilhelt, the Rock Cleaver, makes a token. You use Rooftop Storm to cast Gravecrawler from your graveyard for free and do it all over again infinitely for infinite mana and infinitely big Grimgrin and infinite 2/2 zombie black creature tokens with Decayed. How cool is that? Never thought you'd see that in this video, huh? Drake's Town Forgotten. 4 generic and a black for a zombie 0/0 enters the battlefield with X +1/+1 counters on it, where X is the number of creature cards in all graveyards. So again, all graveyards count them out, and then you've got the number of +1 counters that this thing enters in with. Then 2 generic and a black, you remove a +1/+1 counter from Drake's Town Forgotten. And target creature gets -1/-1 until end turn. So nice way to kill a creature. In fact, an indestructible creature I'll add, because minus toughness and minus power effects, or just minus toughness effects in general, are one of the only ways to get rid of a indestructible creature. Due to it having no toughness, then that creature dies. Wand of Orcus, 2 generic and a black for legendary artifact equipment, and whenever a quick creature attacks or blocks it and zombies you control gain death touch until end of turn. So zombie tribal right there. And whenever it deals common damage to the player, create that many 2/2 black zombie creature tokens. So if you have a big, powerful creature and it swings out and it deals damage, it can get you a lot more zombies. And the equip cost is just for 3 generic, which is very nice. Excuse me. Obelisk of Erd. 6 generic for an artifact that has convoke, meaning your creatures can help cast this spell. Each creature you tap while casting this spell pays for 1 generic or 1 mana of that creature's color. And as Obelisk of Earth enters the battlefield, you choose creature type, and creatures you control of the chosen type get +2/+2. Obviously, you could choose zombies, and your zombies can help convoke this out, meaning this is a pretty easy +2/+2 buff to all of your zombies without really having to spend any lands. Ashdon's Altar, 3 generic for an artifact, and then you can sacrifice a creature to add 2 colorless mana to your mana pool. So utilizing those tokens with decay that are created before they die, or right as they're created, or sacrificing your zombies, which I prefer. Plague Belcher, 2 generic and black for a zombie beast menace, 5/4. And when there's a battlefield, you put 2 -1/- counters on target creature you control. And whenever another zombie control dies, each opponent loses 1 life. So life loss, excuse me. Liliana's Mastery, 3 generic and double black for an enchantment. Zombies you control get +1/+1. And whenever Liliana's Mastery enters the battlefield, you create 2/2 black zombie creature tokens. Corpse Cobble, for a blue and a black. It's an instant that as an additional cost to cast it, you must sacrifice any number of creatures. And then you create an XX blue and black zombie creature token with menace, and where X is the total power of the sacrificed creatures, and it has a flashback cost of 3 generic and a blue and a black, meaning you may cast it from your graveyard for that cost and then exile it. So you can sacrifice a lot of zombies, create a lot of tokens of decay, make 2 really big blue and black zombie creature tokens with menace. So I don't know, pretty good. Brave Betrayal, 5 generic, double black for an enchantment that says whenever a creature you don't control dies, return to the battlefield under your control with an additional +1/+1 counter on it at the beginning of the next end step. That creature is a black zombie in addition to its other colors and types, meaning that if it dies, we get a 2/2 black zombie creature token with decay put onto our battlefield thanks to Wilhelt, the Rock Cleaver. So, along with other value. Cemetery Reaper, 1 generic, double black for a zombie. Other zombie creatures you control get +1/+1. 2/2, 2 generic and a black. And then you tap it, exile target creature card from a graveyard, and then you may put a 2/2 black zombie creature token onto the battlefield. Pontiff of Blight, for 4 generic and double black. It is a zombie cleric with extort. Whenever you cast a spell, you may pay hybrid white-black. This is technically allowed. And if you do, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain that much life. Other creatures you control have extort, meaning you can pay as many extort triggers as you can and drain your opponents for that much life. If a creature has multiple instances of extort, each triggers separately. And then Grey Merchant of Asphodel, or Gary as I like to call him, as everyone likes to call him. 3 generic, double black for a zombie 2/4. And when it enters the battlefield, each opponent loses X life. Or X is your devotion black, you gain life equal to life lost this way. Each black symbol in the mana cost of the turns you control counts toward your devotion black. So in this case, it'd be 2. Or if we had Pontiff of Blight and Cemetery Reaper, in that case, at that moment, it'd be 6. For a 49th card, we have Bolas and Citadel, 3 generic, triple black for a legendary artifact. You may look at the top card of your library at any time, and you may play top part of your library. If you cast a spell this way, pay life equal to its converted mana cost rather than pay its mana cost, and then you can tap it and sacrifice 10 non-land permanents. Each one loses 10 life. So obviously, sacrifice a bunch of zombies without decayed on your battlefield, and you'll be getting a bunch more zombies decayed. Like this can eat your zombie army can easily help you win the game right here. Then for our 50th and final non-land card, we have Emptied the Laboratory from the Precon, actually, which for X generic and double blue, it's a sorcery that says sacrifice X zombies, then reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a number of zombie creature cards equal to the number of zombies sacrificed this way. Put those cards onto the battlefield and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. So you can get out a lot of zombies. You can sacrifice a lot of 2/2 decay tokens that you may not need or just don't want or not providing value. And then you have Crypt of Agadine, which is a land that enters battlefield tapped and then can tap for a black mana, or for 2 generic, it can tap to add a black mana to mana pool for each black creature card in your graveyard. Volrath Stronghold, it's a legendary land that can tap for a colorless, or for 1 generic and a black, you can tap to put target card from your graveyard on top of your library. So pretty nice. Phyrexian Tower, legendary land. It can tap for a colorless, or it can tap and sacrifice a creature to add double black to your mana pool. So pretty nice. Witch's Cottage. It's a swamp, so it adds for a black. Can be tapped to add for a black. And then it enters the battlefield tapped and lets you control 3 or more swamps. And when it enters battlefield untapped, you may put target creature card from your graveyard on top of your library, so it gets one out of your graveyard. Cabal Stronghold, it's a land that taps to add a colors to your mana pool, or for 3 generic, you can tap it to add a black mana for each basic swamp you control. So pretty nice. Mirrored Landscape, it's a land that enters the battlefield tap, and then it can tap to add a colors, and then for 2 generic, you can tap it and sacrifice Mirrored Landscape, and then you search your library for up to 2 basic land cards that share a land type with each other, put them onto the battlefield tab, and then shuffle your library. Cabal Coffers is a land that for 2 generic, you can tap to add a black mana to your mana pool for each swamp you control. Isolated Watchtower is a land that can tap for a colorless, or for 2 generic, it can tap to scry 1, meaning you look at the top card of your library and you may decide whether it stays on top or goes on the bottom of your library. Then you may reveal the top card of your library. If a basic land card is revealed this way, put it on the battlefield tapped. Activate this ability only if the opponent controls at least 2 or more lands. So pretty nice, because in a sense, there will be someone who will be ramping out more than you will in a sense of lands. Which is okay, because then that allows us to play it off of Isolated Watchtower. Fabled Passage, it's a land that can tap and sacrifice itself to search your library for a basic land card and put it onto the battlefield tap, then shuffle your library. Then if you control 4 more lands, untap that land. Pretty cool. High Market, it's a land that can tap to add colors to your mana pool, and then it can also tap to sacrifice a creature you control, I will add. And then you gain 1 life, so it'll help you stay in the game. And then you have 20 islands and 20 swamps. And then you have the end of this video. So that is the end of Wilhelt Rockcleaver and this EDH guide. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Counterspell Hater on this channel that you were watching. Thank you for watching. If you want more of this content, more of this tribal content, please like and subscribe, hit the notification bell, that way you don't miss another video like this. and share this video with your friends and family that you know of. And I will see you later. Goodbye.